So the first thing I did was go to ChatGPT and ask if it knows the story of Hansel and Gretel, and to tell the whole story by describing pictures and adding some phrases for the characters to make the story seem more realistic. Now, if you pause the video and read through everything ChatGPT comes up with, you will notice that this is a lot different from the original story. Now, for those who don't remember or have forgotten the original story, I'll give you a quick summary. So the story starts with a family, a poor woodcutter, his wife, and 2 children living in the woods. They don't have enough money to feed all of them, so one night the wife says that they have to get rid of the children by leaving them behind in the woods. However, Hansel overhears the conversation, gathers some rocks outside and uses them to mark the way back home, ruining the plan of the wife. However, the next day the same thing repeats, only this time the door of the house was locked and Hansel couldn't gather any rocks, so this time he uses breadcrumbs to mark the way. Unfortunately, bread was eaten by some birds, so the kids ended up lost in the woods and find the witch's candy house. Hansel gets locked up by the witch who wants to eat the children. She feeds Hansel every day, but because the witches have apparently red eyes and bad eyesight with it, she asks Hansel to stick out his fingers out of the cage every day to check how big he has become. Hansel, however, is smart and sticks out a tree branch instead of his finger, so the witch thinks he wouldn't gain any weight. One day, however, she gets tired, decides to eat the children, tells Gretel to fire up the oven and check the temperature by sticking her head inside. Gretel, however, tricks the witch into demonstrating how to do that and pushes her into the oven instead. Now, before the children leave, they find some treasure in the witch's house and manage to find their way back home. The father is happy to welcome his children back home, and in the meantime, the wife had died. Now that the whole story is written by ChatGPT, I'm going to use the information and enter it into another website called deepai.org to create the pictures for my story and see what it comes up with. Now, as you can see, we've got different styles to choose from, and I'm going to go through all of the styles once and see which one I like best and stick with it till the end for consistency. So let's try the first one, which is AI image. Oh, look at that, the system has detected some potentially unsafe content. As it turns out, you cannot say that siblings hold hands in a prompt because that is not safe to use. Please remember to always wear protection when you do that. Alright, so this is the first picture that it came up with. I'm going to save all the pictures first and look at them in more detail afterwards. Let's see what our AI came up with. Okay, so this isn't frosting, it's snow, as you can see from the snowflakes and the winter clothes of the children. So the AI basically interpreted my whole frosting description as snow. And aside from that, the whole house looks like a Christmas themed house, not like a candy house. But I guess the AI at least implemented some kind of candy, even if it's just a mess made out of candy. Now, if you take a closer look at the children, you can tell that something is wrong with them. Look at those hands, look at those faces. Those are the faces of children whose mother never loved them. Which is actually how the original story goes, but it's not what ChatGPT wrote. What the hell is that? Alright, now let's look at the second picture. Why aren't Hansel and Gretel supposed to be boy and girl? Because this looks like 2 girls to me. But at least this time the house actually looks like a candy house. And again, look at these hands. This is just a mutation. And also, it looks to me like the girl on the left has got 3 legs. And if you look at the feet, they're not any better. The third picture seems nice at first glance, until you zoom in and realize it's not. What the hell is this? Why is it floating in the air? What's it supposed to be? This looks like these are fused with the house or something. The one on the left looks like it's a human head with a candle inside. I don't know what the AI come up with here. And then you've got Hansel and Gretel, I guess. I have no words to describe this. Now, this image is the cyberpunk style. It looks like it was molded or something. And as you can see up close, the structure looks kind of broken. The AI tried to implement some candy elements, but the candy elements are, well, just broken and fused with the house. And also, what is this? Is this supposed to be a man? Hansel and Gretel are nowhere to be found in this image. Now, the fifth picture is the anime portrait style. It looks similar to the cyberpunk style, doesn't really fit anime. I would say this is more of an animation style, similar to Shrek for example, and it doesn't really fit a fairy tale story. And once again, if you look at these people, you can tell that they have gone through a lot. Next up is the old drawing style. And as you can already tell from the clothes that the children are wearing, the AI added snow instead of frosting to the picture. And once again, we've got these wonderful human-like creatures. And if you look at the house, there is a lot that has been fused with the house, like all the decoration is blending into the walls. Some trees are blending into the house, and you don't know what is house and what is decoration. It's basically just one big mess. Is this a flying snake? Now the next picture is the Renaissance style drawing. Isn't this just a great picture that shows absolutely nothing that I described? I mean, what you can see is a house, two people and the woods, and everything else is basically just ignored. There is no frosting, there is no candy house, there is no candy canes, there is just nothing. But I'm glad at least Hansel and Gretel look as great as I remember them. Beautiful faces, great hands, and just everything. It's just a piece of art. Now next up is the abstract painting. At least this time the AI tried to implement some candy canes. Ah yes, and this seems to be the guardian of the house. If you look closely, you can see a very tiny dog face or bear face, or maybe it's supposed to be a human, I don't know, but it's definitely guarding the house. But the children don't seem to care much, and I guess these are the remains of the people who were eaten by the guardian. Now for the impressionism painting. It looks like a house in the winter, it doesn't look like frosting, there is no candy, it doesn't look like this is a candy house. I like how Hansel and Gretel are drawn, you can't really see their hands or any details, so drawing them from the back is actually very favorable for the AI. The decoration of the house is partially fused with the house once again, but all in all, this is at least kind of acceptable, I would say. Is this an eye that's staring to the souls of the kids? And the final one is the surreal graphics picture. What I like about this one is the frosting on the roof. It looks like it's mixed with some gingerbread, or I don't know what it is, but it looks eatable. But aside from that, the house once again looks like a Christmas themed house and not like a house that was made out of candy. Also, there doesn't seem to be any candy canes around this time. Is it a snowman or an animal or a human? I can't tell if this is decoration or a creature, but it definitely looks abstract. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this. Maybe it is some candy cane, or maybe it's another creature, human being, but whatever it is, it's definitely mutated. What the hell is wrong with this door? Now here's an overview of all the images that were created. There are more styles to choose from the AI website, but I chose to stick with the ones that were given as an example. And the style that I'm going to use is the old drawing. I like the impressionism and the surreal graphics, but the surreal graphics didn't have the children in it, and the impressionism didn't have a candy house. So I think the old drawing fits the best. Now next I went to the 11labs.io website and registered an account. You can use that for free, but you only have 333 letters available for use. And if you register an account, you've got a lot more. I already chose a voice for Hansel, which is going to be Harry, and I chose a voice for Gretel, which is going to be Gigi. Now I'm just going to enter the phrases, take them as they are, and implement them into the story. The size of the images is not very good for a video, so I'm going to change that. I could either do that by stretching them, or add something on the left and on the right side, and fill in the blank spaces by using AI, which is what I'm going to do here. In this case I'm going to use Photoshop. I already did that for the thumbnail of the video. This is the original drawing by Otto Kübel from the year 1930. And what I did was increase the canvas on the left and right, and then use the generative filling tool, which made the drawing look like this. But it took me a few tries to get this result, and I'm not going to do this for the AI pictures. Instead I'm going to use one of the free suggestions that Photoshop gives you. The first thing I do is change the canvas size. This is the right canvas size, we've got a 16:9 ratio here. Now I'm going to select the left and right side and use the generative filling tool. And as you can see, it automatically filled in the blank spaces on the left and on the right side. And now Photoshop gives you 3 suggestions that you can choose from. But I think the first one looks fine, so I'm going to go with this one. I'm not going to try it again and again for all of the pictures. I'm just going to go with one of the first 3 recommendations. And that's it. Now it's time to create a video.